Obviously, at the time, I didn't think it was really all that fair because I figured we were just, we were trying to do something that everybody didn't understand, and we had reasons that they didn't understand. And so I felt like I was a big believer in private property rights at that point, that we should have been left alone on our land to do pretty much what we wanted to do. And then, of course, as the fuel spill happened and it turned out that we were affecting property beyond our own, and that we actually did have a major impact environmentally, then I guess I changed my view on that. And of course now I feel very I regret how we handled the I regret how we handled the press coverage in Montana. I wish that the organization would have been more candid, and I wish that we would have been better neighbors for the people of Montana. Well, there were actually two different drills, and it was really set up more as a drill, and I don't think that it was shared with the larger community that this was the night that my mom actually thought that things were going to happen. So it was very orderly, and it was, there was even kind of a sense of adventure. A lot of the kids were, playing in the shelters and thought it was a lot of fun. And, it didn't really get serious until the middle of the night when it sort of went out over we had like an email network and sort of a communication system, and it sort of went out that this was not a drill. And that's when, I don't think people panicked, but it took on a much more serious tone at that point. Well, and then there was a lot of praying and decreeing going on for many, many hours, and then everybody went to sleep eventually. Probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 in the morning or something, because these drills all happened very, actually, one of them was late at night, one of them was during the day. Nothing was really said. Everybody just kind of came out and sort of dispersed. I mean, it was I myself, I was up all night, so I slept, and I woke up and the sun was high in the sky, and a lot of people were gone. So it just seemed, it was obvious nothing had happened. Yeah, and I mean there were steps taken to deal with that. I mean, on I think it was June 30th, 1990, there was a dictation that was given. It was supposedly from the Virgin Mary, and she said that we had averted the nuclear war through our prayers. A lot of people had logistical problems. They had come into the area from all over the world. They had borrowed money. They had quit jobs, and so when the danger period was over, they had a lot of things to deal with, and I think that was the major concern. I think everybody was relieved that there was not a nuclear holocaust, of course, but at the same time, I think a lot of people had been pretty much banking on it, including taking out big loans and charging up their credit cards and all that sort of thing, and so it did leave people with a bit of a hangover. I think that once you accept the idea that there are masters or God that's speaking through an individual, all bets are off. So, I mean, I think it's an abuse of power, and my mom admitted that to me, that she did abuse it sometimes. But aside from that, it's group dynamics, because all the people who are there are waiting for the next message. They're wanting to hear what they should do, and so once they have kind of turned over their will to somebody who is providing divine guidance and divine inspiration, then anything can happen, and that's the whole problem with the situation. And it's less of a problem in mainstream religion, because you don't have people who are claiming to be messengers. However, many pastors and ministers of all types in all churches will say, God told me this, or God told me to say that, or whatever, and it's the same problem. So once you say that, once you say God is telling me this, what this person essentially is saying, and this actually came from one of the interviews I was doing on the documentary, and I thought it was very well put. When a person says, God wants me to do so-and-so, what they're really saying is, I want to do so-and-so, and I don't want you to question what I'm saying. Yeah, very much, very much. And I think that there's really no way to there's no way to put the brakes on it, because either God is speaking or he isn't. And if he's speaking, then you have to listen. And if he's not, then you've got a false prophet, and you move on. But I think that there's a problem with the whole mentality of people looking for answers from the supernatural, and that's why I became an atheist. The one problem that they have right now is that they do not have a messenger. And so it's kind of like a rudderless ship as far as I'm concerned, because the whole organization was based on my mom's charisma, and before her, my dad. And so right now, they don't have anyone with that same charisma, and there are other organizations who've kind of sprung up and who are offering that experience, and a lot of people have left to go and join them. And so I've always said this. I mean, I'm kind of half joking when I say this, but I think they need to appoint another messenger if they want to have the same kind of success that they had before. I wouldn't advise it, but that's, I think, what they need to do. What family in the world wouldn't want to have a place to go in case of an emergency? I mean, I think that bomb shelters in and of themselves, like if they could magically be built for every citizen in the country, might not be a bad idea for natural disasters and stuff. But the cost that's involved is so high, and the amount of diversion of money from actually living and building a community was so huge that I think that it's fine to look back at it and go, yeah, we're glad they're there, but that decision was incredibly costly.